Good morning, everyone. Just letting this live get started. You can tell it's morning. Hope you guys are doing awesome. I am just wanting to check in with you guys this morning and see how you're doing. If you're here with me, thanks for waking up and being with me here today. Really appreciate it. Today I wanted to talk about just my healing strategy. And like I've said before, everybody is different. Every single one of us is going to heal differently because our traumas are different. The lives we've led are all different. And again, excuse how I look today. Oh my goodness. Low network connection. Uh-oh. Hopefully we're still there. All right. Like I said, everybody heals differently. So my strategy for healing, and I just kind of want to go through a brief explanation, maybe a little bit about my past and my history. So a lot of us met through the CPTSD group here on Facebook, and shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for joining me over here. I hope that it's not too much duplicated content, which is also why I want to come at you live, because I think that provides some really unique value. So again, thank you so much for being here. And yeah, so I joined the CPTSD group because I was looking for other people like myself, other people who've been there, who are, you know, on their healing journey, as rounded of a healing journey as I possibly could. That was my goal, was to try not to get too caught up in one specific thing, because like I said, the trauma is so complex that you really have to take it down layer by layer by layer, and not every single piece of your trauma is going to get fixed by a certain healing method. So for me, like I said, I want to disclose I am not a therapist, I'm not a counselor, I'm not a psychologist, psychiatrist. I don't have a degree in anything. I'm really close. But it's just a general business degree. So I'm not, this is just from a survivor standpoint. But you have to break it down layer by layer. So my past, I was molested when I was like 6 or 7 by a family friend for the first time. My family was negligent. My mom and dad were 21 when they had me, and my mom already had a daughter when she was 17. Things were unstable, to say the least, which I'm pretty sure some of you can relate to. Maybe not all of you, but some of you. And it just leads you in a direction of searching for love in other places, maybe that you shouldn't. Not that any of our abuses are fault, and not at all saying that. I'm just saying it makes you easily susceptible when other people try to use love as a manipulation tactic, because I was searching for love. My mom wasn't giving it to me. My dad wasn't giving it to me. Somebody else that I did a way that I didn't understand and didn't want, and it wasn't love. It was, abuse. So, again, parents negligent, very, very poor, and my mom found eventually, after years and years of abuse from my dad, domestic violence and stuff like that in the household, my mom left my dad and eventually married my stepdad, who would then go on to molest me from the age of 11 until I was... It morphed from molestation and sexual abuse into physical abuse after years, and physical violence and things of that nature. And just got, the older I got, the less loving and caring type of facade he would try to put on, and it was way more just straight abuse. So that's where the complex part of it comes from. And like I said, everybody's story is different, but that's a little bit of mine. So my strategy after that, when I was 22, 21, 22, I left the abusive situation. I had met would end up being my husband, and he was living in Colorado. He was in the Army and moved from where I was at to Colorado. So he extended the invitation to come with him, and I did, and it was the best thing I could have done for myself, was physically removing myself from the abuse, because as many of you know, there's the trauma bond, and it can really get a hold of you and keep you locked in a situation that you don't want to be in. So there's a lot of aspects around trauma and sexual abuse that are so sticky and hard. But so from there, my strategy for healing was different types of therapy, obviously. So I started with, sorry if there's a lot of background noise. I'm just at home, so excuse me. I started with CBT, so cognitive behavioral therapy, which they give a lot of Army vets when they come back from deployment. So it's CPT. I'm so sorry, I said that completely wrong. It's cognitive processing therapy. I have my old binder here. Yes, cognitive processing therapy. And this is actually the veteran and military version, but I'm not an Army vet and I am not in the military. But I started there, and or have done it before, but it really breaks down the way your mind processes the trauma, and really takes a lot of grounding work, being mindful and present in the moment, which was really awesome. You got to get your mind right. You have to kind of try to remove yourself as much as possible from that trauma. And realize the thoughts that are coming into your mind, and realize what you're saying to yourself, because your thoughts are what make up who you are. You are your thoughts, you know. So if your thoughts are negative or self-harming, which can be really, unfortunately, really natural for us. We tend to turn that like anger and blame inward, and that's just not where it belongs. And it's really unfortunate that is how it happens very often. That's very often general kind of deal with it. They just turn it inward. So getting your mind right and understanding your thoughts, that was where I started. And I just moved into regular talk therapy after that. I went a couple years without therapy, and as we all know, the healing journey is not linear. It's very much a roller coaster ride. You're going up and down and up and down. So a couple years removed from the cognitive processing therapy, I started talk therapy. You got to get it out. You just, whatever way you can get it out, get it out. It can't live inside of you, because it just festers, and you've already lived with it enough, and you've already dealt with enough trauma in your life. So just get it out. So I did talk therapy. I'm still in talk therapy. I meet with my therapist once a week still. She gives me a lot of really good ideas as far as trying to shift my mindset and the way I'm thinking about things, the way I'm communicating. We're still working on setting up appropriate boundaries, especially with family members like my mom, who was also abusive to me in my life, not sexually, but just in negligence and other ways, you know, in life. So just still talk to my therapist every single day, and she's amazing. So I always really stress the importance of professional help whenever you are able to get it. There was a time in my life where I was not able to get professional help, which is why I turned to Facebook groups and you know, other survivors that I could reach out to who, you know, would be able to talk to me about it, or whoever would listen. So talk therapy, I it's hard because you have to have the right fit, and there are so many people and there are so many therapists, and you really have to take time and make sure that you trust them and feel safe with them, and that it's the right person who's going to ask you those right questions and help you get around that. I'm actually fortunate enough to know for a fact that my therapist too was sexually abused, so she has a really good grasp on what I'm going through, and it's beautiful. So if you're able to, I strongly recommend it. If not, I'm so glad that you're here and just getting help wherever you can, and connecting wherever you can. I don't know if I can say this is going to be helpful or not, but just getting help wherever you can. You are so strong, and you are so worthy of any and all help that you want and need, and I'm just putting that out there. The next strategy of mine from my therapist actually has been bibliotherapy. I'm so sorry for any background noise. It's a little loud in here again. Bibliotherapy, which is like books on physical abuse and sexual abuse and things like that. And this is one of the ones that I am working out of. Sorry, the cover is all crazy, but it's The Courage to Heal workbook by Laura Davis, and there's another co-author on here. I don't know who it is right now, but there's a co-author. The Courage to Heal for Women and Men of Survivors of Sexual Abuse. This is a workbook. There's also a full just book, and I'm actually listening to on audio. But this bibliotherapy, this work, in addition to all of the other methods of healing for me and therapy, this has been pretty life-changing for me. The bibliotherapy, you find others who've been there, who are willing to put their stories out there, or gather people together to provide their stories in one place for you, and it combines other people's stories with writing exercises and meditations that really help you be self-reflective in a safe way, in a protected way. But again, you have to have those background strategies of like coping and grounding and all of those things for this to really be safe and for this to work out for you. So please, if you are looking for methods, be very careful with the bibliotherapy if you do not have a mental health professional that you are able to be in contact with, because you do need that support, and you do need to be able to bring yourself out of panic or anxiety with like breathing exercises or moving your body or grounding, like the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things, whatever. There's a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method that I will share with you guys. I'll find it and I'll share with you guys. It's really awesome. But to bring yourself out of that state of anxiousness and overexcitement once you start on the bibliotherapy, because it does bring up a lot of feelings and memories and things that maybe locked away, maybe you didn't remember. I thought I remembered everything of my abuse, and there have been things that came out of this book that I didn't know, and that can be very hard. So please be careful and be gentle with yourself and take it very slow, and just be careful. But it is awesome. It can be life-changing. It has been life-changing for me, and I love it so much. I also do a lot of, with this, I do a lot of self-care. When I was in a point where I wasn't able to get to therapy, wasn't able to be with a self-help professional, I didn't have a mentor, I didn't have anybody, I would just get online and go to, self-help groups or find books on self-help and self-care. it all boils down to just taking care of yourself. I mean, literally, it's in the definition, like in the word, in the phrase. You drink your water, be hydrated. They say half your body weight in ounces of water. So round numbers, I weigh 100 pounds, 50 ounces of water a day is what my intake should be. Exercise, you have to move your body and get those endorphins in your brain moving and producing, to get those feel-good hormones. I know you've probably been told that over and over and over again, but it's because it's true. And take time for yourself. You may be working a full-time job, or 2 or 3, or taking care of a family, or have kids. Many sexual abuse survivors have a life outside of sexual abuse. We are not the abuse that we endured. It's just a part of our life and a part of our story, and it makes us stronger, honestly. As terrible as it is, we are stronger people because we are through on the other side and we endured what we endured. So take time for yourself. Make time for yourself. You can't create more time in the day, but you can spend your time a little more wisely and make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Make sure you're eating something. Nourishing your body is really, really important, and finding a passion, finding something that you can create or, put energy into that can be positive. My main strategy overall isn't, like I said, one method. It's a series. My trauma was complex, as I'm sure yours was too, coming from, especially those who came from the CPTSD group. So just be gentle with yourself and be careful and love yourself more than anything, because you're worthy and you're awesome. And we are stronger together. I appreciate you guys being here with me today. I hope to come back live to you very soon. I would love to make this a regular thing. So if you enjoyed this, if you got anything out of it, please let me know in the comments. If you have something you'd like to talk about or share, please, again, let me know in the comments. We can make another video. I would love to come back at you live. And in the meantime, have an awesome day. Love yourself well. You are worthy. And I'll talk to you soon.